welcome. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It is October 5th, 2023. You know what that means. It is day 5 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 12. And today's movie is the Rob Reiner directed film, Misery, or also the Oscar-winning Stephen King adaptation. Misery. Kathy Bates won an Oscar for her portrayal as Annie Wilkes. Scott Caan, even though he didn't win an Oscar, I don't think he even got nominated, but he deserves a high praise as well. I always think actors who are confined to like a bed or a wheelchair or stuff like that, and they still give off like this great performance, I think they are like top tier acting. Because they're just sitting or they're like laying down, so they have to use their face and like maybe little subtle movements and stuff like that. And I know he does able to like move around a little bit in this movie, but it's just like he's really confined to these few things, the bed, the wheelchair, he's even like when he's sitting down when the car crashes, he's just like I'm going to set this down. It gets, for a Lego set, it's pretty heavy. So, yeah, but before I really dive deep into, I'm going to kind of end that tangent there real quick. I need you to do a few things for me by going over to some my fellow horror YouTubers who are doing this exact same thing I'm doing, the 31 days. You got the 13th Wolfman, I Am the Ice Lord, Jennifer Toshi, Echo, who else we got? I think Random Horror's doing Trash Film Addict. Who else? I think Double Shot J, he's doing it. I think there's a few others. I'm just not forgetting at the top of my head, but we were all doing this, and we're still going strong. It's only day 5, so go over there, show some love, because I'm about to ask of you to go do for them. Do for me is hitting the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, and share this video, because doing those things help me and all of us get our channels and videos out there to a much broader audience. And when you leave a comment down below, helps us stay connected and leaves us let's just interact with you. So do all those things, and it's just awesome, because hitting that bell helps you stay notified when our videos go live. Leaving a like, it just help, and that algorithm thing just helps get our videos out there. So just, I appreciate you doing that for me. Go do it for them as well, because they deserve it as well. So but yeah, back to the movie. What is there to say about this movie? It's Rob Reiner. He's really I think this is his second Stephen King adaptation. I think Stand By Me, it was the first one, and Misery was his second one. But I still prefer Stand By Me, but just because I like that era of. And sometimes I do, when it comes to Stephen King stuff, I do like the non-horror stuff, like Shawshank, and even though this is more of a thriller, but it's but it still has some frightening moments in it. Like, that's why I chose it for today's, because of the sledgehammer scene, the hobbling scene, I should say, because I still have troubles watching that particular scene where Scott Caan's character, he's kind of confined to a bed, or he kind of got caught wandering, I should say, because he's killing off a character in his series of books that Annie Wilkes absolutely loves, and when he crashes his car, she finds that out, and she doesn't like that too well. So she kind of forces him to rewrite that book, and he's trying to get help, and she's stopping him at all costs. And of course, the big climactic ending and everything. But it's like, I don't want to, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But the scene in particular that involves today's weapon is the hobbling scene, where she puts a block of wood between his ankles and just hits it with a sledgehammer, and it's rough. It really, really is. And because the special effects that were made for the foot look super real, the way it bends and breaks, that's like, oh man, that's cringe. Like it makes you really like cringe and like have to look away and everything. It's great, but this movie is well acted. Kathy Bates won an Oscar for her role. Um, as I was saying earlier, like Scott Conn definitely deserves praise for sure. I like him as an actor. Um, just him being confined to a bed and or a wheelchair and just having to like emote in different ways, being able to and stuff like that. It's like that's that's marks of a good actor in my opinion. So, um, and I really like this movie. It's well edited. It's well shot. It's so good. But like, I don't normally go for this movie. I will, in all full disclosure, is that when I'm wanting to watch a Stephen King movie, I'm like, oh, let me pull out Misery. I'm like, no, it's like I would have to like be kind of burnt out on some of the others. I mean, I know the more popular ones like Shining I like the I think the newer version of the Stand miniseries. I actually watched that a couple times. It both versions, the miniseries with the 1991 and the more recent the volume one or chapter one and chapter two. So, and slew of others, even like Running Man, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I definitely kind of prefer that one over if I had to pick a Stephen King. That's very loosely based, but yeah, but like I this one it's really good, but I just don't. It's not my go-to Stephen King, but I can still respect it, and I still watch it from time to time. But it's just not one that I'm like I have to like. Ooh, like I said, like if I'm gonna watch it, like today's gonna be a Stephen King movie day. Misery doesn't really crack the top 10, honestly. It's like yeah, Christine and even like Graveyard Shift and Thinner and some of those other ones, even the Dead Zone, they all kind of hop on before Misery. It's not because it's bad, it's just I connect with the other ones a little bit more than this one, I should say. But yeah, like other than that, like this movie is really well done. It's a really top tier movie. Um, and it's one of the best Stephen King adaptations. It really is because they did some like I think in the book the hobbling scene is a little different. I can't remember. I have not read that book. Or even kind of go back a second. Like even Gerald's Game that's on Netflix. I prefer that one over this. It's just I connect with those movies a little bit more, or there's just something about them that just drags me to them a little bit. But nothing to say bad. Like I really don't want to say anything bad about this movie because it is really really good. So that's it. That is all I have to say about Misery. It if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you're getting into Stephen King movies or like getting into that realm of like that rabbit hole of Stephen King books and stuff like just anything Stephen King, Misery isn't a bad place to start. Like it really isn't because it's not gory or scary. But it does have some intense moments that may attract you to kind of go out and kind of watch maybe it or some of the more obscure ones. I think you got The Mangler, which is starring Robert Englund. What what are some other ones like or even some like even Creep Show. So like yeah. But Misery is a very good Stephen King starting point when it comes to movies. So that's that's a good praise for that one. So that is all I have to say. Please go check out all those channels that I mentioned at the top of the video. Give them some love. And that's really all I have to say about today. I can't wait to start talking about the next couple of movies for the next couple of days. Because I have a lot to say about those two. Because I may not have a lot to talk about the movie itself, but I just kind of want to talk. I just had a lot to say about what this movie stands for. So, That's the best way I can say it. But that is all. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short. And all I can really say is to end these videos is stay spooky and thank you.